of the Belarusian Republic.
Господин модератор, за предоставленную возможность выступить в этом прекрасном дворце, замечательной, такой намоленной, я бы сказал, земле Вероны, которую мы очень любим. Часто приезжаем сюда не только с бизнес-целями, но и с туристическими целями отдыха. Я не буду говорить о сложности времен, я скажу...
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I won't talk about the difficult times we go through. I can say that this is a very interesting time. If you remember our last but one meeting, well, something very important happened in the Eurasiatic space. Indeed, the Eurasiatic European Union was established with 5 member countries. It is not just a virtual association with some ideas. It is a tangible fact with organizations, with supranational bodies. It's an institutions where decision is made, and these decisions are directly effective. This is an international law institution. We are registering at the Eurasiatic Union at the UN. So this is an institution that has a role to play. It includes 170 million inhabitants, and the countries occupy 15% of the mainland. We rank 6th among the economic powers worldwide, and we have set a number of ambitious objectives for ourselves. There are 4 main liberties that we want to safeguard: freedom of movement of service, manpower, capital, freedom of movement of the above, doing away with all the barriers still in existence. My country, i.e. Belarus, as all the other members of the Eurasiatic Union, wishes for fully fledged cooperation with including the Asia-Pacific region and the European and American region. This is a need. Indeed, we don't want to have competition. We want cooperation. We believe that we should again try and proceed towards a full integration. Just a few days ago, we handed out a message to the European Commission to trigger a negotiation process so that we could cooperate, so that the Eurasian Union can cooperate with the European Union. Our union was finalized just a year ago, but there are already facts available for it. Some 40 countries showed their interest in establishing relationship with the Eurasiatic Union. We've signed a number of cooperation agreements. We are negotiating with China at the moment. On the waiting list, there's the prospect to cooperate with Israel, Egypt, Turkey, Indonesia, Iran. So I wish to say again, to reiterate, that this union is just an economic union, because it is only economic functions that this institution has to play. The forum slogan for today, I think that runs in sync with what I'm saying. There's another important aspect. I'm here representing the Belarus government, and in this capacity I'd like to invite you all to cooperate with our institution. There's a need for that, and there are opportunities in that. based on the data from the World Bank, you know that Belarus ranks 57 in the list of some 90 countries. We rank third in terms of intellectual property being recorded. We've changed importantly our tax system. The country has been streamlined. We've reduced taxes, and it takes very little again to pay taxes in our country. The programs are ready, and I hope we'll succeed in doing what we wanted to. So now I'm not going to dwell on the geographic position of our country, but again, Belarus lies very much at the center between the European Union and the Eurasian Economic Union. It also provides a lot of logistics system and infrastructures. Indeed, there are railroads and a road system that has been developed also thanks to the contribution coming from Italian companies. We have 6 in special economic areas in our union. There's a major project between Russia and China that is taking off. A project with no limits in terms of nation to be involved. Everybody coming from whatever country can be involved into this big project. I know that in Italy as well, our technologies are well known. In less than 5 years, our export grew from $0 to $1 billion. And actually, there's a long queue of clients wishing to buy our technology. Oftentimes, we're asked about privatization, and to those questions, I can say that there is no legislative restrictions. We are trying to identify the facility and to match that with the right investor so that it makes sense to put together a business and an investor. Gas, for example, or just a company, or there's another joint venture of digital network. Well, there are contracts that are one of the largest contracts ever signed in Europe. And statistics are quite clear. Over the past decade, the companies that were set up in Belarus doubled. Some 10,000 companies were incorporated. The economy thrives on exports, of course. Indeed, the export share contributes importantly to our GDP, indeed in the measure equal or exceeding 50%, thanks to our industrial infrastructure. Let me quote a few figures. Belarus is a very small country in terms of population, yet we produce 1/6 of the agricultural equipment which is produced, 3.5% of the potato produced worldwide. A truck out of 3 is produced in our country. I'm talking about the very big trucks for the quarries. The latest model can be loaded with 400,000 tons. So one truck can transport as much as carriages on the railroad. 1 kilo of butter out of 9 is produced in Belarus. So this is the size of our potential. Probably our ambassador is going to refer to that in that trade between our countries exceeded $2 billion last year. And with a positive outlook for both of us, we sell €1 billion and we buy €1 billion worth of goods. Despite the sanctions that Mr. Reporter referred to, indeed, that sanctions never did anything good to anybody. They just produce damages, and I hope that shortly these sanctions are lifted and forgotten altogether or repealed, so as to see no prospects for growth in our relationship. Now, to conclude my presentation, I want to say that we're very open to cooperation. We have the potential, we have the possibility to establish new collaboration. You can start relating to the Eurasian Economic Union even through Belarus. Thank you.